Oh shit, here go them fucking people, man. Run.
Be on the lookout. I got a black male. He's in flight. He's in flight. I got a black male. He's passing up Joliet. Running down, turning on Leanders. He's going down to Harrell Park across Claiborne. He's running over past Nelson Street. I need backup.
Now I'm going to the third wall, in the dungeon with the dragons, in the dungeon with the dragons. Now I'm going to the fourth wall, in the dungeon with the dragons, in the dungeon with the dragons. Now I'm going to the sixth wall, in the dungeon with the dragons, in the dungeon with the dragons. Now I'm going to the seventh wall, in the dungeon with the dragons, in the dungeon with the dragons. The ferocious beast roaming packs, pull off axe, sling dope and crack. They toting fire, breathing max in the nights where the blunts blaze. Born killers being bloody dark hallways, trapped in the maze with the Carrollton cavemen. His shells fall to the ground like it's raining. It's wildlife and outsiders ain't coming in, because they know the ghetto bricks ain't crumbling. Shoot out the lights so I can blend into the scatter sights. Slip if you wanna, every corner got it armor nights. Automatic weapons got the task, get the pass through. Know we gon' blast on that ass like the last crew. The pain bringers be the city street law enforcers. In every corner in New Orleans you can find that torture. Don't fuck around with downtown cause it ain't safe. Don't fuck around with uptown, it be the worst place. Now I'm going to the 8th wall, in the dungeon with the dragons, in the dungeon with the dragons. Now I'm going to the 9th wall, in the dungeon with the dragons, in the dungeon with the dragons. Now I'm going to the 10th wall, in the dungeon with the dragons, in the dungeon with the dragons. Now I'm going to the 12th wall, in the dungeon with the dragons, in the dungeon with the dragons. They looking for them boys that got that work. They come up missing, you can spot them on a white t-shirt. If you was smart, you tuck your jewelry while the dragon sleeps, because the bling of the diamonds agitate the beast. I know some streets here in the city niggas won't even roam. They drug zone, you forgetting off crack and heroin. Be aware of them niggas that just come home from penitentiary. Say they won't they block, but they been gone a whole century. But them youngsters putting in work, so it's gonna be a bloody war. Cause they ain't packing 22s and 38s no more. They got the same shit the US military got. Let off one shot and watch the whole fucking project drop. Where it ain't unusual to see a body here, a body there. If it ain't our partner's body rotten, we don't even care. Don't waste your time calling the cops, cause they don't give a fuck. They waiting for the smoke to clear to come pick the bodies up. And now I'm going to 13th wall, in the dungeon with the dragons, in the dungeon with the dragons. Now I'm going to 15th wall, in the dungeon with the dragons, in the dungeon with the dragons. Now I'm going to 17th wall, in the dungeon with the dragons, in the dungeon with the dragons. Carrollton, in the dungeon with the dragons, in the dungeon with the dragons. Pigeon Town, yeah, Holly Grove, Dirt Town, for sure, Nigga Town, Graveyard, Cross the Ave. Oh, you gon' know, Mr. Holly Grove, rest in peace. Alvin Ross, Buppy, Carrollton Caveman. Oh, you gon' know, nigga, you gon' know. Oh, you gon' know. Now I'm go up in the ATL, in the dungeon with the dragons, in the dungeon with the dragons. Now I'm go up into H-Town, in the dungeon with the dragons, in the dungeon with the dragons. Now I'm go up into MIA, in the dungeon with the dragons, in the dungeon with the dragons. Now I'm go up into LA, in the dungeon with the dragons, in the dungeon with the dragons. Now I'm go up into Detroit, in the dungeon with the dragons, in the dungeon with the dragons. Go up into Tennessee, in the dungeon with the dragons, in the dungeon with the dragons. Go up into St. Louis, in the dungeon with the dragons, in the dungeon with the dragons. Go up into New York, in the dungeon with the dragons, in the dungeon with the dragons. New Orleans is the home where the ATF roam, and the murders and jackers all play. Nigga, you better watch or get served if you're slanging them birds. You heard me? You know what I'm talking about?